we just picked up a half a cow for the first time ever. It is a grass-raised, grass-fed cow. We actually picked up a half a cow. I think they said the hanging weight was about 400 pounds, and we paid, I think, $2,029. This is our first time ever doing something like this, and I'm gonna see if I can fit it all in this one freezer. I do have two freezers in this room right here, deep freezers, but one I have full of chicken, and then I have a bigger one that's sitting right here that I hope that majority of this beef can fit in. I do have some of these black bags, and I'm going to go through it and look through. I know I'm going to put all of my ground beef to start with in this bag, and then we're going to count it all together to see how much ground meat I got. I really wanted this. What kind of beef that we normally eat is ground beef for like spaghetti and tacos and Asian inspired food and lasagna, just anything like that. And then we use a lot of pot roast to go inside like the Instapot and the slow cooker. This will be my first time also getting beef tallow, and so not anytime soon. This is obviously the summer and the peak of the garden season, so I don't know when we'll be rendering tallow, but I'm really excited to be doing that. I think I was supposed to even get some bones, and so we'll see if I got any bones. I'm really not sure. This is our first time getting it. Our friends got this last year and they really liked it, and so we went in with them and we all just purchased a whole cow. It was 3 friends. We purchased a whole cow. I got half, and then the other 2 friends got a quarter each, just because I have the bigger family. I have 4 kids and my husband and I, so we're a family of 6. So we're gonna go through and see what I got, and we're gonna look through it. I did take out a pot roast to have tomorrow. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all of you guys that watch. Hope you guys enjoy your day. Yesterday was our anniversary, and so I didn't video anything yesterday, and then today was a really busy day. Today that I'm filming this is Saturday, is when my husband went to go pick up this beef, and it was about, the food processor was, or the beef processor was about, I think, a little over 4 hours away. And I showed you what all we have. We have 4 coolers full. One is not our cooler, so we have to return it. And then we have the 2 boxes on my table. The stuff in the coolers are still frozen. The stuff inside the boxes, the top layer is kind of getting defrosted right now, but one of them was the roast that I told you I'm using tomorrow, because I want to process chickens tomorrow, and so I want to have something that I can throw inside the Instapot and already be ready for me when it's time to eat. I've been using these bags ever since I did a freezer clean out, which I didn't show you guys. I don't know, it doesn't say how many pounds these beef are. I'm just gonna count them and assume that they're a pound. They fill about a pound. So So this is pretty full. This has 40 individual packages of beef. I think that's good enough. I still have some more ground beef in here and inside another one. So I'm gonna sit this all the way at the bottom of this deep freezer. This deep freezer is pretty empty because because I had already cleaned out this deep freezer. So this one is empty. We'll take out and fill this one, and I'll sit the beef that I just got in here. This is a lasagna I just made. This one right here is just fruit, and I made these smoothie packages and my kids have been using. And then the one completely underneath it is just a miscellaneous meat. So it has anything from fish, some pork, and well, seafood and pork mostly. Because like I said, I don't have, like, I have shrimp, I have salmon patties, some breakfast sausage, some more shrimp. So this is just like a miscellaneous of all my other type of meats. And then I just have some fruit in here that I'll probably take out and put in here that I stored in bags, like blueberries and peaches. So that fit exactly perfect, and I'm gonna do another bag the same way. I can probably add a few more in here now that it's in here. Like I said, this was 40. Maybe I'll try to fit 50 in here to have an even nice number. This time I just set the bag in there, and I'm gonna add these in too. All right, I had to try this out a bit. I was able to fit 250. These are all 50, 25, no, 50 in here and 50 in another one. So this is 100, and I am able to close my freezer. And so we're gonna work on this bag right here. I do have a couple, probably like 5 of these ground beef. I'm gonna put in my freezer in my kitchen. So I think I have 2. Yeah, I have 5 of them, so 105 ground beef so far, and I'm gonna put those in my kitchen. I think what I'm gonna do with this other bag is, right now it has like broccoli. I think I'm gonna put that in my kitchen freezer, and then the fruit I'm gonna mix in with this other bag. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then on the bottom, so this will be at the complete bottom, I think what I'm gonna fill this up with is meat that I don't use very often. So like this big brisket that I see right here, like this is a huge piece of meat. I've never even cooked with a meat this big, but briskets and ribs I don't typically cook. I think I've made ribs like once or twice and brisket like once or twice. So things like cuts that I don't normally use, I think I'm gonna fill in this bag. And then so that way it's at the bottom, it's a little less easy to get to, if that makes sense. I just found the perfect thing to go underneath, because this will be the area where this is gonna sit on top of it. And I found all of this is the beef tallow, and I found bones. And so I'm gonna sit this all in one bag. And when it's winter and I need something to do, I can render this tallow. And I can make lotions and soaps. Like that. I don't know. Seems like a piece of some kind of a leg or a shoulder, and then this, which still seems like it has some meat on it, but it isn't labeled, so I'm thinking that those are the bones. And so I can also make broth. I just found this inside my, I think this is a kidney. Like, I've never seen a beef kidney or cow kidney, and I've never made anything with it, so that should definitely be interesting. So it's actually a little bit later. I had to take a break and go pick up an order, but I have all of the ground beef and I have the meat that I'm not really gonna use, or the bones with the kidney and the tallow all in here, and that's full. So the rest of, I still have 3 coolers full of products, and I'm going to try now use one of these boxes it came in, and I'm going to try to put all the steaks in one box, and I'm going to pass it to my son, and he's going to put it in. We have 3, I think we have 1 stand-up freezer in our garage, and then 2 fridges with freezers, and I think that's what we're gonna do, because the rest of these, so I have sirloin steak, which is this. We have New York strip steak. I don't make a lot of steak. We have 2 packages of filet mignon, which is my favorite type of steak, but I am not great at making steak, and so every time I try to make it medium well, which is what I like it doesn't come out right. So we don't really eat steak a lot. This is a New York strip. Another New York strip. So I'm gonna put all of the, I just saw that we have, I'm gonna put all the steak in here, but I just saw we have another of this tallow. I've already made a date with my friend Allison. You guys have seen her on this channel. She's a chef. She helped us break down a whole turkey. She lives pretty close by here. She's the one who I went in with this cow and another couple, and so I already have a date at her house right now. She's already rendering. I went to her house earlier. She's already rendering her tallow down, and she has the beef bones sitting on her counter ready to make stock with that. And so I'm gonna make a date with her because her kitchen is much bigger and spacious than mine, and we can just do it together because I've never rendered tallow before. And so I'm gonna go over to her house and do that. This is a chuck roast, which is like huge. Like, that literally will probably last my family 2 meals. Let me get that box. I'm gonna put all of the roasts in one. These are all ribs. And then all the steaks in here. And I don't mind the steaks being in the freezer in the garage, because like I said, we mostly cook with, so I have no idea. This is not labeled, so I have no idea what it is. I don't know. I'm gonna put it with the roast. Where do you want me to put this? London broil, I think, is a roast. In the trash. By the trash. Sirloin steak. Like, what kind of sirloin steak? Like, that's huge. Okay, I just found some interesting stuff. I found 2 packages that said the beef cheek. I have no idea what this is, but let me see if I can show you the, yeah, this is beef cheek. I also found, I showed you guys the kidney. I found this, which just looks like some kind of bone. I found, I don't know if this is the liver in here, and I also found some knuckles bones in here, and I'm guessing that's all for making stock, and I can roast those bones in the oven, pour off the fat, make a lot of beef broth, and then I'll probably use my freeze dryer to freeze dry all of that, turn it into a powder if I don't can it. It just depends on how much it makes and how much time I have. But I basically separated, so I have my container of this is all steaks. These ribeyes are huge. And then I have these are all of my pot roasts. So they're chuck roast, pot roast, and London broils. And then I also found 5 more. My friend did tell me they are 1 pound. I found 5 more 1 pound ground beef. So I have 110 pounds of ground beef. And I was calculating it. Our half of the beef was 400 pounds. Like I said, we paid $2,029. If I divide that by 400 by $2,029, it come out to like about $5. I think it was a little less than $5, which is really great considering I have all of those steaks and pot roast and all that good stuff, and this is all grass-fed. Grass-fed beef right now, I'll be lucky to get grass-fed ground beef for 1 pound for $5 a pound. And even I know hanging weight, you know, you do take some off for bones and stuff like that and fat, but we got all that bones and all that fat back, and so we can make lots of product with that. And so I'm still counting it as really beneficial. Even when I dropped the price or the pounds down to 300 pounds of meat, divided by the $2,000, it still was about like $6.87 if I'm not mistaken, which is still amazing, because regular ground beef in the grocery store, like in Walmart, when I was looking, when I ran out one day, was still about in the $6 range. And this is grass-fed, it's local, well, local because I live in South Carolina and this was Georgia, but it still comes out to an awesome price. Like I said, this is my first time doing it, but so far I'm really happy with the quality and with what I got, and especially with all the tallow. And I did get organs and all of the things, and I'm really excited for all the things I can make. So what I'm gonna do is I just pulled out this bag of smoothie packs, and because I can fit some more stuff down here, all of that bag is, and that's up high, so there's nothing underneath there. These are the the beef bones and the tallow, but I have some more beef bones and tallow in there, as well as some like these parts, this kidney and stuff like that. This kidney, I decided I'm going to, and probably the rest of these organs, I'm going to freeze dry them. I'm going to freeze dry them for my dogs and save them as dog treats. I think that would be really great for them, but I'm not doing any of that right now. And so what I'm going to do is put all of those things underneath this, underneath my bag, and then one freezer in my garage, I'm going to have all of the roast, and then the other freezer in my garage, I'm gonna have all of the steaks. So I'll know I have a ground beef freezer in here, I'll have a steak freezer in the garage, and then a roast freezer in the garage. And I do put some stew meat and ground beef in my freezer, stand-up freezer in the kitchen. As I was just taking all of the organs out of this cooler, I realized I forgot all of the ribs. So all of these are ribs. We have short ribs here, we have longer, thinner ribs, but all of these now are ribs. And like I said, we don't eat ribs like that, but on special occasions. So I'm gonna also put these in the freezer in my garage, and that actually fills up my whole freezer. So we have 100 pounds of ground beef, we have all of the bones and the fat in here, and I can still close my freezer and it closes. I'm gonna have all of my ribs to go in a freezer in the garage. We have all of our pot roasts and London broils, and then we have all of our steaks in the bottom one, and that will be all of the beef. I do have another stand-up deep freezer right here, and that one is probably only halfway full, but it's only filled with chicken, and so that is completely my chicken deep freezer. And we're gonna, like I said earlier in this video, start butchering chickens tomorrow, and so I'm not putting anything in there besides chicken. And this will be my mostly beef, but we do have some fruit in there and some random pork as well. But for the most part, I'm so excited. I wasn't sure how all of this beef was going to fit, and if it was going to fit in this deep freezer, and it probably could if I didn't have other things in here. But the things that I have in here I need to keep in here, like the fruit and stuff like that, that I do need access to. So I'm happy with this setup, and we're going to bring the rest of the stuff, or I'll have my son bring the rest of the stuff to the freezers out in the garage.